Greetings one and all, welcome back to the World Super Touring Championship. We're at the Brands Hatch Indy layout. Part of the remit is to do some short courses now and again, and Brands Hatch is suited for cars like this. And as you can see, within the top 10, BMW have put the work in. Webber is on pole. Schneider is in 5th. I think this is a return to the sort of performance we were expecting since the start of the season from BMW. Alpha also in a presence in the top 10 as well. Adrian Michael Rees alongside me, Christian Shepherd. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
And off we go. Front wheel drive performance off the line again. Webber with an absolute slingshot. Whitman with a slingshot as well up to second. Very well behaved through Paddock Bend, every single one of them. No spinners. Druids.
Suarez making an uncharacteristic good start as well.
I think the jitters have been on pole has kind of been avoided this time around. So we'll have to see what they can do during the next 22 laps around the Indy course. They head up to Surtees and McLaren. Dumas there in 6th. BMW doing very, very well indeed. Factory and privately as well. Thompson down the inside up to 6th. Thompson has a look back through the mirrors at Dumas behind him. Suarez with a bit of a look down Druids on Schneider. Getting a second win in Deep Forest last time out. Fisichella in 8th behind Dumas. Not the worst of the performing rear-wheel drive cars. You can see the Toyotas trying to sneak into the top 10. There's Butcher right there down the inside of Rydell. Decent performance from the Tamiya Hondas qualifying, but no doubt we'll see them drop back to their more customary back marker positions by the end of the race. Hopefully not to be lapped by the guys up front. And as you can see, Aiello, well, we had a brief glimpse of Aiello just then, not having the best of qualifyings. Engine issues with the Megane.
Track would be suiting to those with the more handling characteristics that would follow along with the Sirocco and the BMWs, as we've seen. BMW do seem to prefer, well, there's a little bit more in terms of a handling quality than it would be for top speed. It might explain why we've been seeing the Meganes and the Fords towards the back, as they seem to be set up fairly differently as to the ones up front.
Gasho in the top 10 still. As we see in the mirror, the entire queue behind Gasho. Meanwhile, Webber has just gone. He's already at Druid hairpin while the midfield take turn 1. And there's Wittmann into 3rd ahead of Schneider. That being said, Wittmann was down the inside. Panel beaten already. Doesn't look too bad there. Wittmann trying to get that position back, but Schneider's on the inside for Clearways and Clark Curve. Suarez trying to say hello as well.
Looking to take advantage going into the last corner, going onto the main straight. Just doesn't have that pace, does it? The Siroccos do seem to lose out.
With the undulation as well, we've experienced what the Scirocco can handle with hills around Interlagos and Deep Forest.
Yep, Swinny just gave a little bit of a poke to the back of one of the Fords there, going into Druids. That's not going to make him any friends there.
The best performing privateer still. Even if the Tamiyas are ahead at Brands Hatch, he's got a decent points distance ahead of them in the main championship. Palou holding Swinny up right now.
Might even suit the what you got the Mazda here, considering
It's
we've
his,
seen him do very well in cornerings and then leave him for dead on the straights.
it's his local course. He knows this track very, very well indeed. A customary top 12, just skirting on the edge of the points, of the full fat points. Picking up the pieces from
Jason Thompson,
10th,
possibly? No, not quite.
almost, yeah. Suarez starting to fall back from Wittmann, but the BMWs are doing very well indeed. We'll just have to see what happens when the top 10 gets switched for race 2. Webber with the fastest lap on the second lap, and nobody getting close just yet. Dumas down to 7th. Aiello still struggling. Yeah.
I think Camish is behind both the privateer Fords at the moment. He is indeed, in fact, only a couple of places ahead of last place. Might even go to 19th here.
Battle with Aiello and one of the season strugglers, Nielsen, who is, as we know, retiring. And speaking of retirement, not far ahead of this tailing pack, you've got the 3M of Biffle, who has announced this is his last racing season. The long-term Ford contract he had, which has landed him with this seat in a privateer 3M Ford, has come to an end, and no one has taken up any option with him just yet, so he's just calling it now. Maybe, just maybe, fingers crossed, he'll end up in IMSA, but no news on a replacement yet. No doubt a rookie will end up in that seat as is a private team funding.
Dumas
still in 7th.
Yeah, qualified well, but now just seemingly just losing a bit of pace. Gascho's managed to find something in them again that his teammate hasn't. Aiello, who's currently towards the back.
And we are heading for the halfway point, so this is where the tyres of those that have sort of behaved themselves. We've seen the form book before. Gasho starting to make sure, and of course down the inside.
He's got to be careful that understeer doesn't wash into the side of Dumas. Still side by side going up to Druids.
Is this going to seal the deal? No, it isn't.
No, he's backed out. I can't help but think that's maybe down to the knowledge of the front wheel drives, that they need a bit more of the circumference of the corner to make something stick like that. Duras may know that as well.
Especially out of the Graham Hill, the Graham Hill we've known since about 1998, and it used to be a little bit more flat out, shall we say, a bit more of a challenge since the late 90s with that right angle. We've seen cars run wide from it.
Yeah, we should see him make a move now again. Hopefully.
Take 2.
You'll need to stick it into turn 1 before Druids. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Oh, Dubasco went wide.
Stuck.
And gets it done.
Before Druids as well, so that's settled for now. Dumas still in a respectable position, still trying with the handling capabilities of his car. Was almost around the outside of Druids, and is still close to the back bumper of Gasho, whilst Fisichella is also trying to do the same thing to Dumas. Surtees, curb hopping. So when you run the outside of Rydell, we director spotted that just as I did. Good job, director. Rydell now out of the top 10.
I'd have to say that the Alphas probably are a little disappointed in the position of the Fisichella at the moment, as they have probably been in a few other races he's taken part of this year.
Yeah, they're well placed in the championship. Obviously, Fisichella's teammate Wittmann is in the lead of it so far.
Yeah, first just caught back up to Webber as well.
Tyre management once again as we reach the halfway point of race 1.
Webber's probably a bit more seasoned, knows that they need to just need to hold on to that, what you call it, tyre wear, especially as you've said, they're coming up to the halfway distance now.
He's into his sophomore season. Did quite well in the DHL car before BMW snapped him up, and now he's shining through as he should have done at the start of the season. But obviously, work with the car on the potential replacement of the M4. I think they're trying to put all their eggs in this particular basket now to get a respectable constructor position by the end of it, even though perhaps the drivers may not be able to claim that title for themselves. Fisichella holding up Swinnerton. At the top two, top three.
Looking racy. There's been times where Swinnerton has unfortunately been racy and then unfortunately met, let's say poor grip levels and have span out. We can imagine, we can remind ourselves of the Red Bull Ring. Turn 1, got himself into a decent position and span.
Speaking of decent positions, what we completely overlooked was that Swinnerton was last on the grid, and at the halfway point is halfway to the front of the field. Now, if my calculations are correct, the charcoal void might just do it, but we'll see. We shall see. Gasho holding up this particular peloton of Dumas, Fisichella and Swinnerton at Graham Hill.
Fisichella's getting held up by Dumas at this point, and I think Dumas is now getting held up by Gasho, who suddenly dropped off a bit of pace. Probably used too much of his tyres and overtaken Dumas.
Suarez, Thompson tussle ahead as well. We're spoiled for choice here at Brands Hatch as always, and the crowd certainly are as well. They've got a great view for a majority of the track.
You just saw there as what is known as the concertina effect, where the BMW couldn't accelerate as quickly as the car in front.
And neither could the Alpha.
No.
And to a degree, neither could the Mazda either.
That, in theory, gives Gasher a little bit of space, but as we can see going into the braking system through Wids's, that's a wide Swinny.
He got there, but the Mazda say no. The weight.
I was going to be worried about the Sweeney shuffle again at this Sweeney. I meant to say Swinny.
Chat 8.
Yeah. You've been holding that one the entire season, have you?
Only if someone says to Sweeney. Moving on.
Dumas again. Is this going to happen again, where you just can't accelerate in time?
How the turntables have.
I don't see Dumas finding a particular place to overtake Gasho at the moment, unless Gasho makes a mistake.
Now Wittmann's holding up Suarez. Suarez in a more positive position, not having claimed pole on a track like this. Now feeling a lot better by the looks of it. You got Gasho, Dumas down the inside of him on the exit of Druids.
Back at the group here, all the way down towards 20th place. That seems to be quite a decent group. It's just unfortunate. I think some of these cars will be underdeveloped.
And Swinnerton again knew where to go, saw a pattern, struck where Fisichella was at his most vulnerable. Job done.
Also, Dumas has got past Gasho somewhere.
That was Druids. You kind of missed that. Wittmann holding up Suarez, holding up Thompson ahead. You've got Swinnerton trying to not eat gravel on the outside of paddock, trying to stop Fisichella getting that position back. The boy's on form. Let's hope he can get past Gasho as well as he did Fisichella just then, and Rydell a few moments a while ago. It's going to happen again. Here we go. Take 3.
Oh, it's forced Gasho into a really tight line.
Job done. He's done his. You could see the time in there. Webber still got the fastest lap, but who knows? Let's see what's going to happen when Swinnerton crosses.
Swinnerton, yeah, and we're really crossing these paths.
We really should have had some food before this race. We'll have to do that during the
Not quite the
race
lap
break.
Definitely quick up there. Oh, Gasho
Very
making
well.
a late
3/10 off. Yeah, late dive for Gasho.
And then bottoms out, unfortunately, with that particular line.
We are focusing on the midfield. You can see Webber on the dotted line, and Vert's just gone. Their race, unless something miraculous happens somehow.
Rydell's still doing well in 11th place, just as a footnote there, just ahead of Pillow.
that's another topic for perhaps the second race, is that there has been talks about, obviously with the top 10, you know who's going to be on pole, so you know when to potentially sandbag to claim pole. I think the organisers of the World Super Touring Championship are trying to find a workaround. We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. And
I mean, I don't think that's what Fisichella is currently doing at the moment, in all fairness, but we do expect a bit more pace from that Alpha, especially considering where Whitman is, up in 4th place. Although Whitman is getting harassed, let's say, by Suarez.
short of drawing lots for a specific grid position, we'll have to see.
Probably put it through a randomizer of some kind, to be fair.
Whitman 4th, Suarez 5th. Hasn't fallen back because, I mean, by coincidence, he's not on pole. Thompson's still in 6th. Swinnerton holding up Dumas. Swinnerton's gone ahead of Dumas.
Not quite yet.
Dumas gone ahead of Swinnerton. Oh, the Biff and Barge, Swinnerton up to 7th.
Yeah, a little bit of elbows out there.
I wonder, with 2 rounds to go after this, 5 races to go after this one, if Swinnerton's going to be sealing the deal on the Privateers Championship with performances like this, if no one else is going to be able to get close to what Swinnerton's performed this season in such a hefty-sized Mazda 6 as that. On board, Swinnerton.
Bear in mind, this is probably going to be one of his stronger races, considering, especially if he'll be starting from, what would that be, 4th in the next race if he stays in 7th?
Yep. And again, the weight of the thing, the excitement, we shall have to see. But what a drive from last on the grid. Even if he had engine problems, the fact that Swinnerton had to get this thing performing to that level and still qualify behind an underperforming factory effort Renault, and then pull it out of the bag in this race, local knowledge. You'd think some of the touring car experience of the other guys, they'd shine through as well, but this is quite a drive from the local man. Oh, being held up by Thompson now. Who knows? I mean, is it going to be a podium position? Yes, it's too short a distance now. We've got 2 laps remaining, but this is, despite the gravel there, a remarkable run. Druids. Dumas seems to have given up the ghost there, and I think a lot of the other drivers up front have too. Webber still leads. We've got Wirtz in the Volkswagen, Scirocco second. We've got Schneider in the other BMW third. Now, hopefully, with race 2, we get a little bit more excitement. I know we kind of question the abilities of BMW, but obviously firing on all cylinders now, if a little too much. But what can we do?
They've been questioning as well, let's be fair.
Yeah. They will be very pleased with this. The only thing that would make them even happier is obviously a 1-2, but it looks like that's not on the cards. But what a lights to flag victory for the Aussie, having done so well last year in the DHL car. BMW putting their money where their mouth is, and thankfully Webber wins race 1 at Brands Hatch. Wirtz across the line second. Decent points for the defending champion, and Schneider third. Wittmann supposed to be happy with that. Suarez, okay. Swinnerton, you could see the excitement from the garage already. Gaston Fisichella with the pole.
Right there with his best finish of the season as well with 12.
Calculated drive from the Italian intense, so you'll see him on pole for race 2. Despite the domination from the Deutsch, it's going to be table flip for the race ahead, and we'll see you later. Good racing, everyone.